So what exactly is causing the obesity epidemic? Now, some people say that it's eating too much fat, but you have people on quite high-fat diets where they eat basically no carbs, like carnivore diets, and they tend not to get fat. And they tend not to, unless they're on the diet because they're already fat, well, they tend not to have to starve themselves that much. And this includes me. I was on a carnivore diet for about a year until just recently, and it's not that hard to not be starving and yet still losing weight. So I mean, theoretically you could be obese on a carnivore diet if you ate a lot of animal fat, but that tends not to happen. So if it's not fat, well, is it too much carbs? Well, probably the majority of people over the course of agricultural civilization have lived on mostly carbohydrates. Now, of course, they eat some fat and protein, otherwise they'd die. But, you know, most people, fruit, rice, potatoes, starchy carbs, that sort of thing. And like they might not be perfect, they might not be muscular and ripped, but they tend not to get obese or suffer obesity related problems. What is the problem then? What's causing obesity? Well, by process of elimination, I would say it's eating carbs and fat at the same time in the same meals. When you think about it, it's very rare in nature you would do that. Let's say you're in a hunting party, you might be grabbing fruit and eating it to keep you going, and then that's pretty much just carbs, little fat, little protein, and then when you make your kill, you're eating protein and fat. You're really never eating carbs and fat and protein in the same meal. And when you do, it activates something called the Randall cycle. It means that the carbs tend to be locked out of the cells because the cells have to process fat, and that seems to cause a lot of problems, and it seems to cause overeating. It seems to put on fat pretty easily. Now there's one food that was common in nature that does have protein and carbs and fat, and that's milk. And that's for baby animals to just grow. Well, when we eat a food like that, or we have recipes that make food like that as adults, well, when that causes us to grow, we can't grow upwards, so we tend to grow outwards. We put on some muscle as well, but mostly fat. So I would say avoid carbs and fat at the same time. One way is to eat a carb-only, basically, diet like most of the world's population does. But the problem is most of us want to be muscular, right? And you're not going to get hugely muscular that way. So another way is to eat a carnivore diet, so you're not eating much carbs at all. That's okay, although you possibly want to occasionally carb up. What I'm experimenting with now is I'm eating carbs during the day, so carbs only, essentially no fat or protein, and then just one meal a day I eat meat and fat, and the idea is that minimizes my fat, so I should be losing weight, and I'm not, although I'm probably eating a high caloric value of carbs, I'm not eating enough so that a lot of fat is gonna form, because as we should know, a calorie isn't actually a calorie, and when you eat carbs on their own, you have to eat a lot to put that on as fat generally. So the Holy Grail, of course, so you guys should maybe try that if you can adjust your diet. Try eating either carbs on their own and then a high protein, high fat meal in the evening, or maybe even once every couple of days, or try a carnivore diet. It seems to work for a lot of things. Now, what we really want, what the Holy Grail would be, is a diet where the body just wants to put on muscle, doesn't want to hold on to any fat, and just wants to make us really energetic, yeah. So I'll continue experimenting, and when I find such a diet, I'll let you know. See you.